Hey, friends. This is Stephanie. So I ask the Lord, what theme word do you have for me every year? And, um, but I shouldn't make it so spiritual. I pick a theme word for my life every year. And what's really interesting is a year ago, I got a certain word and it is been a comfort for me and almost an anchor for me throughout this crazy year. And that word was soar, SOAR. See, I have a bald eagle that lives in my neighborhood, and I often take walks, and I've been taking a lot more walks, obviously, lately with COVID. And I've been just watching it and watching for it because I don't see it on every walk I take. But I really fleshed out more of what that word means, and since I'm used to, um, being in a learning environment like church or Celebrate Recovery where we have acronyms, I have been I kinda took the 4 letters of the word and divided it out, SOAR, and I came up with, some really great things to meditate on and give me courage to do what I don't like doing. One is the first one is S, set off. And I always see when I see that eagle set off, he jumps. I mean, he almost falls off these huge trees in my neighborhood, and he really sets off. He trusts that he's not gonna fall to the ground, and often you'll see 2 eagles together, and when one sets off, the other one follows and sets off on the other one, and this reminded me of when I was in high school, and we were up skiing probably at Bryan Head with the youth group, and, we get off the top of the chairlift, and we head over and hit the top of this Black Diamond Run. And there is a point where when you're looking over the cornice of a scary run, it always helped me when somebody would go ahead of me and I could follow them. But it was still brave. I felt like I had to take a risk and I had to jump. And and really trust that I wasn't gonna tumble, but that I was gonna be able to stay on the run and not fall. And the feeling of setting off, I think, is some concept to share with you guys. The other thing is the second letter is the open your wings. O for open your wings. And I have had asthma my whole life. So I always kind of slouch over, and I don't have the natural desire to open my chest and breathe in deeply because for so many years I couldn't do it, or I was scared to do it, or it brought back bad memories, or I don't know what it was. But when the eagle opens their wings after they set off, that eagle breathes in deeply and he extends his wings, and that's the only way he could catch the air. If he were just to set off and not open his wings, he's not going to make it. So my first challenge is to set off, S, and then my second was open my wings, which is a very vulnerable position normally. However, for an eagle, and for I think about the things we do in our life, we have to be open, um, and yeah, vulnerable, and we have to trust and learn how to breathe. So I'm learning how to take deep breaths and get into a space where I'm at a peaceful state because my body is breathing deeply and I'm inhaling and exhaling and I'm vulnerable. but in a safe environment. The other letter, S-O-A, A is where I need to adjust to the wind. So when I do set off on a project, or if I do move into an area that's scary, um, and after I open myself up to possibly failing, I have to pay attention to the wind. And I used to, when I was younger, I would windsurf. And so I learned how to, and I grew up going on a catamaran every summer where we would look at the telltale signs in the sail to know, is this a good opportunity for me to maybe adjust my course to catch more wind? And I'm sure that those eagles are, it's so interesting because on the cliff by in my neighborhood, when I take my walk, I see the eagle soaring right next to me, next to the bluff, and I think there's something to it, and, those those squirrel suits that people use, they go right next to the bluff of the hill or the mountain, and there's some sort of wind that can pick them up and give them that oomph. So, I gotta pay attention to my feelings and pay attention to where the wind is. And then the other fun thing is, when you do catch it and you get into the groove of the eagle and you're soaring, like when you're working and you just feel like this, I am doing what I was meant to do. Like it's just, it's a flow. Then you get to stop fighting and you get to work with the power and you get to surrender and you get to enjoy flying. And as a Christian, there have been times in my life where the ministries, the people who I was helping, it just felt so easy, and I felt like I was in the exact right place at the right time, and, um, and I had adjusted to the wind, excuse me, and so I was surrendering, and I feel like the eagle is me, and the wind is the Holy Spirit, is God. And so I could partner in that direction or, whatever it was that I had the wind, which is God, and then me and my sails opening up, allowing the wind to take me. It's kind of, abstract, but, like, I'm thinking of, like, when we started Home Matters 10 years ago. It just felt right, we were encouraging women, and women were just, their lives were being changed, and it just was a groove. It felt so good, and I could just surrender. Another thing I'm thinking of is when we had that, well, we still have it, is our friendship small group, and we meet. It's like a book club, but it's also like a support system of a group of, 6 of us, I think, right now. Anyway, when we started that, I wasn't the leader, and then when the leader quit, I remember going, I'll do this group, but I just, it's your group, God. And I feel like after what, 17, 18 years, 19 years now, probably, of meeting, throughout the school year, we have been there for each other. And that was something where I felt like it was the Holy Spirit, and I was just kind of partnering with him, if that makes sense. And then R. So SOAR. Okay. S for set off, O for open your wings, and A for just adjust to the wind. R is rely on God, rely on the Holy Spirit. And that is so fun because I can glide. I don't have a motor. I can and sailing is so fun because you don't have a loud engine, right? Um, and it's quiet and it's peaceful, and the best thing of all is you get to see from a different perspective, and it's a visual delight. So anyway, I wanted to just share that, get that out there because it was something that meant a lot to me this year. I'm very happy to say goodbye to 2020. It's been a time of loss. It's been a time of fear, anxiety. It's been a time of big emotions for me, my family, hospitals, not being able to go to the hospital when you want to, being in the hospital when you don't want to, singing It Is Well with my soul at Children's Hospital with my family when we were saying goodbye to Cannon, my grandson. I mean, it's been a year I'll never forget. I got 4 days with Cannon, barely. I mean, I wasn't with him the whole 4 days, but our family got to be with him and touch him, and anyway, I just wanna say that I encourage you to come up with a word, and, you might not hear the Lord give you the word, right? Um, but I think that, for me now, I'm gonna try to figure out what my word is for 2021. I'm kinda confused. I think it's gonna be something like plot or plan, but I'm not sure. So I'm kinda keeping that open and praying about that. But have a word and then just like write it down and put it somewhere where you can look at it, and then periodically check in and see. And for me, it gave me courage. It gave me a place to focus. Um, and I just think that anyway, so that's my story. A lot of people who know me, you know, they want, they equate me with my faith in Jesus, and um I haven't felt super close to Jesus this year. I mean, I'm being honest. I know he's been keeping me um keeping me close to him. I've had so many people reach out and love on me, and I do feel cared for. But sometimes I look into the sky and I don't see the wind because I'm not looking at the trees and I can't tell, right? So that's where the faith comes in, is that I can look for the Lord, and um sometimes the trees are moving because he's moving. The wind's moving the trees, and sometimes I can't see anything. And so it is a step of faith to believe that God has in kept me close to him through this hard time. But I want to encourage you, maybe it's time for you to step out in faith and whatever that looks like for you, right? So when I look for God in the hard places, um, that's right now where I'm being stretched in my faith. Um, But the truth is, things that are invisible are still real. So even though Jesus is invisible to us right now, he still is real. And the Holy Spirit is invisible, but the Holy Spirit is still real. And that's a concept that I think I just want to encourage myself about, and I want to encourage you. And I think the wind and soaring is a good like parallel of what that is. So, I would challenge you maybe in 2021, maybe you're scared to like look into Christianity because Christianity has such a bad rap right now, because we're so screwed up. And anyway, as Christians have not done a very good job at being Jesus on the earth. Anyway, that's a separate topic. But the point is, maybe it's time for you to stop like paying attention to the ground and what's going on in your own life, and like look up to God. Look up to those big trees and see where the wind is blowing, and choose to step out in faith. And I believe that he is gonna take care of you. He's gonna keep you. He's the comfort for us when we need comforting. Um, anyway, I just want to share that with you. I believe we're all made to soar. Like we're all made to be the people that God created us to be, and we've just been put in this horrible world, and we're doing the best we can. Our families are doing the best they can. Our employers, the government, everybody's trying really hard to do the best they can, but we're not in heaven yet, right? So it's not easy. And anyway, I just want to encourage you all, get this off my chest. It's something I wanted to share. And I love all you friends and family that have loved on me this last year. And let's go into 2021 knowing that we can choose to be courageous and we can choose to try new things and see what works and what doesn't work. So that's my challenge to you. And if there's something that you used to do a long time ago and you haven't done it lately, try it. I went skiing last week and it was so fun. And I haven't been skiing for probably 10 years. And I think everybody should pick something that they enjoyed in their childhood and maybe try it again. And you'll see if it's something that clicks. Anyway, so happy New Year. Goodbye 2020. And let's be done with that. And we're going to be around and we'll talk to you guys later. Bye.